she and her husband have been long-term members, and her children vitally regard how this church shaped their lives and changed them.
Thank you. All right, we can move on. Okay, Christian Ed report. Anything to add, Heather?
No, I just hope that this year we'll get a little bit more active and COVID will disappear and, you know, and we'll find some more children.
Amen. All right, and worship, music, and arts. Yeah, we'll just do that one first. Questions or additions, Burnell? Any questions for Burnell and the Worship, Music, and Art Committee? Seems to be a sidebar over there. I don't know what it's all about. You can't see that. Okay, all right, are we good on worship, music, and art?
Yeah.
Okay, then following that is the report of the bell choir. Issues, questions there? Seeing none. Scholarship committee. Would you explain again for everybody that's here just what the scholarship committee does in that spot? And I know that you questioned to me that we mentioned last year that the money might be used for something else, but would you clarify what you meant by that?
Okay. The scholarship committee was formed, it has a charter and everything, but it was first, it's intended for people that are members of our congregation if they decide to go into the ministry to those funds available. In the 15 years that I've had been the chairman of this committee, we've only given money to Jim Poole for some extended classes that he took. But it is open to anybody who's considering a pastoral career. I had thoughts, and I haven't done anything about it, of maybe opening it. Right now it's just for our church, but since our church is so small, I'm wondering if maybe we should redo the constitution of the scholarship to include maybe people in our synod, but I haven't done anything about that. So technically it's just for the people in our congregation, the members of our congregation. As you see, right now we have over $25,000, and we could very easily, at about $1,600 is what we made last year. So we could actually make that payment and down with it and just, have that available and still have over $25,000. As long as it's not doesn't crash. Yeah.
Amen. All right, any questions on that?
Okay. It's just our congregation is so small, and I think the intent was there, 25 years ago or 30 years ago, whatever.
And they did help some people back in the day.
Yeah, right. Okay.
All right, thank you. I didn't have an evangelism report, so I will move on to the property. Ray, anything to add? Any questions for Ray? All right. He works hard and he does a lot of things.
Amen.
We appreciate it. All right. Then social ministry. That's a wonderful report and it's been very active. Anything to add? Social ministry members? Questions? Okay. Keep up the good work. Following social ministry, there is an altar guild report. Linda, anything you want to add, clarify? Questions for Linda? The altar guild? All right. Then, Memorial Committee is on here. We don't have a report. Linda and I have talked about that a little bit. There hasn't been a lot of action. We might want to look into that again this year on council, whoever is on council, and just kind of see what we can do with that. Since Dick Mormon died, there hasn't been a lot of, what do I want to say? Well, Linda's been left with everything, and no one has contacted her about things, so we'll just see where we are and where we go on with that. Anything on youth? Already? All right, nothing right there. So that would take us through all of the standing committees. I don't have any reports from special committees. I do have new business. I think I was supposed to put budget on top of, as number 1, and nominations number 2, because I'm going to go to budget next. First of all, Rick and Ray were getting together with the pastor. I was there a little bit to propose the budget. I do want to say that I was the one that went in and put in the actual 2021 numbers. And you're going to see that that doesn't really line up with our profit and loss statement. There are still some things that are not clear. It doesn't mean that the profit and loss statement is accurate. And that's an accurate accounting, and you can go, if you have questions about those things, I know some of the answers, but for every entry in the profit and loss statement, there is a page of things that backs it up in the report that you can say. You could ask our new church secretary, office manager, okay, so what is that account about special funds, non-budget about? And she would be able to print off a list of things. So that list is pretty accurate. I just didn't know where to put everything in the actual 2021 thing, and I came up about $3,000 or $4,000 off. But I just wanted to kind of explain that, why there is a difference between that and the profit and loss statement. Okay, so Rick, want to talk about the budget? No. Oh, you don't want to? You really meant that?
I'm waiting for you guys to,
Oh,
whatever.
sorry.
We're starting with 23,000.
We're going to come up here. Would you come up here, please? So if there is any zooming in that, so that people watching can see.
We're starting this year with anticipating $23,400 less to begin with than we had last year because the payroll protection plan money is done for. We looked through the budget, we found some items that appear to be one-time expenses that we would not be incurring this year. And I believe that was about $7,000 worth that we would not incur. So the actual beginning shortage, anticipated shortage, would be about $17,000. If giving does not increase to absorb that, there will be a time that's during the year that we'll have to get together again and recalculate what our budget would be for the year. Calculate what could be eliminated if need be. But that's down the road. That does not have to be addressed today.
I would just like to say a word of thanks to everybody that's so generously giving and continue to give. Oh, stay up here. You don't get to go away. I just want to say a word of thanks for everybody that is so generous, because when you look at annual reports of corporations, it's no longer looking at profit and loss statements. You're looking at what they call free cash flow. And our free cash flow this year has remained positive. And we've gone into the year with a little bit of a positive. And we're still working out where some of Quicken differences are, but we're paying our bills. And a year ago, At our last annual meeting, your past president, I'm about to say, but current president, Ron, stood up here and said, we have a deficit of about, what was it, $7,000 or $8,000, and we passed by faith that we would make that budget. You made that budget and then some, which is really remarkable. Now, yes, we will have the difference that we've actually had payroll protection for 2 years, both for this year and the previous year, right? So we won't be having it this year, so it does look like instead of 7,000, it might be around 15,000. And how do we go forward, and what do we do? But we stood here a year ago, not sure of where this was going to end up, and all of us living in faith, and look at what we've done. And I hope we can keep that moving forward for the future so that we can keep the ministries vital and purposeful. Thank you for your generosity. The church will never have enough money. We all know that, right? But the fact is that we're able to do it when people see the need. We have some very generous people that are here and also in the internet right now. Thanks be to God for everybody. Thank you for your faithfulness.
So before we discuss that anymore, I forgot I was supposed to ask for a motion to approve the budget. Is there such a motion?
I work on it.
All right, Mr. Taylor, and seconded by Vernell Cook. All right, questions, comments? I will ask for concerns. All right, I'll make it that easy. I don't know if we have anybody on Zoom.
We're recording it, so they won't be able to see it.
Oh, so they're not right there?
Then they are not right there right now.
Okay.
What happened was is they kicked me off the St. Paul's network and put us on the church network in the sanctuary. And so they'll be able to see.
Okay, but they can't vote.
They can't
If
go.
they're not right there on Zoom. All right.
They can call in their votes. I was like, you can be like Chicago.
No, you could do that. All right. Okay, then, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the proposed budget for 2022. So just by show of hands, all in favor, please say aye. Opposed, say nay. Say motion carries. All right. Then another item of new business is the church council and committee ballot. It is nominations and voting. The thing that we usually do is ask if there are, first, so we'll just go through this quickly, well, not quickly. Are there any further nominations for the office of president? All right, any further nominations for the office of vice president? Any nominations for the office of secretary? And any nominations for the office of treasurer? All right, we'll come back to that in a minute. In the committees, I pretty much just copied what was from last year. So if there are things that should be added or deleted, this would be the time. Oh, council members at large. We kind of, in the last couple of years, have gone away from having each committee have a representative. Most of those committees are represented by council members at large. And how many are we allowed to have, Rick?
The Constitution says not more than 9.
Okay, I should have asked you before. I apologize for throwing that at you right now. I went with, again, what we had done in the previous years, moving a few things around from where they had been to that. So we have a similar amount. Are there further nominations for council members at large?
I can answer that.
Thank you. Would you please?
For some reason, in the past,
Well, what we're electing council members. That's those people that are in that, in those top two categories. The other thing is we're just really recognizing and authorizing to the extent that it's needed, the people on the other committees. Is that your question? Okay. Yeah, all those people are nominated to council. All right, so any changes in the other committees?
Okay, the scholarship committee, Janet Kohler's term expires this year, so when I talked to her, she will, go for another 5 years, but you need to approve that.
So that would be to 2027?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that needs to be voted on.
Well, it will be.
I just want
But it should be noted in the minutes, Janet Kohler's scholarship committee term lasts until 2027. All right, any other additions or things that I should change, we should change?
If there's a list for what, how long they're on,
I'm going to anticipate that question since I was just saying, they have a special constitution, as Brunel mentioned earlier. So we're honoring that committee's constitution by doing that, and that's why they have particular limits.
I also heard you mention that this was something about you were here this year. Do we have?
There are limitations in the officers of how long they should serve in one office on the council. And there might be on council members at large also,
But council members, 3-year terms, they can serve 2 consecutive terms.
Oh, that's a,
Okay. All right, and for anybody that's interested, the officers are 2-year terms. No, they're 1-year terms.
1-year term.
And they can have 2 consecutive